Okay, my first time using my whole light stick thing. So I'm not so tech savvy. I just play like I am on TV. So let's be patient if there's any glitches. But tonight, we really wanted to cover, we've been hearing so much from people who so want to be being successful, and they feel like all these things are getting in the way. Mimi, was I like crazy busy today? Like, everyone's like, can I talk to them? Like, I am working. I got up, I walked the dog. Like, I didn't even make lunch today. Did I make lunch today? No, I did not make lunch today. And I'm still in my workout clothes from this morning. So I'm sure you guys have days like that. Put in the chat if you have days that you don't get out of your workout clothes, or days that you leave the house at 7:30 in the morning, you come home at 6 p.m. If you have like no cleaning help, or you have cleaning help only once, maybe twice a week, and like you have to come in and cook in a not perfect situation dinner. So put in the chat like any challenges you have around plating your food. We want to hear them and make sure you guys get a chance to talk today. Hold on. Mute on. Obviously, if you have a question, feel free to unmute, but we're going to minimize background noise. So I'm going to show you guys my air fryer. Ayala's going to go out later and show you guys her air fryer. And we're going to get started. So I washed mine, so it's nice and clean and ready. I have the standard, very simple Phillips air fryer. It has a dial. Here it is clean. It has a bottom base where the air circulates. And it has a frying basket. That is all you need for the air fryer. Okay? I want to show you guys literally. We wanted to make like recipes for this thing, and using the air fryer is so simple that don't need recipes. In fact, it's so simple that Mimi is going to be the one who's actually going to do a lot of the work tonight. I brought a slave so that I could also focus on you, which is always good. And also so that you guys can see really how much this is a tool that the whole family can use in a really good way. Oh, come on. This like stood up so nicely for a whole hour. Okay. Okay. I'd love to hear from you guys. What is your number one obstacle? Ayala, did anybody write in the chat anything that was coming up for them? Okay, guys, right now let's put in the chat. This call is only going to be as amazing as you make it.
I'm going to put your question in. Finish your sentence.
This call is only going to be as amazing as you make it.
The air fryer is
complicated. Okay.
The previous sentence. What is your, you started asking.
What is your obstacle around getting food together quickly and easily? Okay, that's plated, where it's just easy. It's not complicated. It's not causing you anxiety. Like, what is causing you anxiety? What is complicating it for you to make dinner fast? Okay, so this call is going to be amazing if you guys make it amazing, because we're Team Thrive and we all have to contribute. So I'm going to give Mimi a job right now. I have here 2 magical bowls. I have an aluminum bowl and glass bowl because it doesn't matter. You can use whatever you want. You want the olive oil, please? I have here a variety of vegetables I like to do in the air fryer. Kohlrabi, peppers, eggplant, which my stomach is finally letting me eat again, zucchini. Yep. We love these soy protein burgers. Mimi's absolute favorite, a potato, onions, and tofu. And I pre-washed the broccoli and cauliflower and soaked it for bugs. Okay, so Mimi, there could be bugs in food. We're not having that conversation right now. Okay, so
Lily, first question coming out, but I'm also going to ask. Pesha asked, or she said her biggest obstacle is, she's saying the dinners are the hardest, 75%, 25%, meaning 75% veggies. Pesha, I'd love for you to unmute What do you mean?
Yes.
What part is hard about being 75% veggie?
I'm gonna start chopping while I listen to you talk.
I don't know. I didn't formulate it exactly in my head, but I think it's just the matter of what will really be satisfying at 75%, 25%. Like, I don't know, breakfast is so satisfying to me, lunch so satisfying. Dinner comes and it's just like, I'm not creative. I don't like cooking. I tend to eat the same vegetables over and over again. Don't have time to like start researching recipes, so I just do the same thing. As Lily knows, I do have an air fryer, but it's very recent and I have not even used it yet. So that's why I was like first on the phone call, because I'm like, okay, I'm ready. And my sister got me one, and it's like, I think it's like a super duper like serious one. And
Show it. Which one do you have?
I haven't.
She
even
has the
touched it.
Ninja.
You guys, I haven't
There
even.
are many different ninjas.
Hold on, I'll show you. I haven't even touched it yet.
Okay, that's a ninja. Jen Cancer. Is that like the one you have?
I think that has a little more options.
Little more options. Okay. So while Lily's chopping, again, I'm gonna put something out
Well,
there.
I actually finished. I have 2 meals here that would be veggies most. So I wanted to just pause for 1 sec and talk a little bit about what Apesha was saying. If you're able to get to your air fryer and go through how you can use it maybe simply without using all of the fancy schmancy stuff, if there's a way to just ignore some of the complicated settings, that would be amazing. So you were talking about veggies most. I find that what's the turnoff for people, I yell at you, tell me if you find this to be true, or any of the other coaches, feel free to come in the chat and tell us. But I think people think that means you can't have a lot of protein. That you go get me the big blue plate and the little blue plate. So, right, you think that, oh, that means I can only have a chicken leg. I can only have a little target.
Or it means you can only have one vegetable, like 75% of one thing.
Exactly. So here is a plate. Here is a plate. This is a 9-inch plate. This is a 12-inch plate. If you want to have a full chicken breast and be 75% veggies, you're going to use a 12-inch plate. If you want to have a half a chicken breast, you're going to use a 9-inch plate. Alana recommends that if you really want to get in touch with your, happy weight, that you should start with a 9-inch plate and just prepare a second plate, prepare extra so that you can more sure. You can use the 9-inch plate and then have a big glass of water and then go for seconds and take seconds of that second half of chicken breast and more veggies. But I just wanted to show something. Here is 2 half eggplants. This can go in the air fryer together. And what I do is with a knife, I score it. You guys see Yoni's recipes, I taught her this, you score it. And now she's made it her own and made it amazing in 100 different ways. And you score it the other way. Done. That's it. I'll take a picture of this because hold on, let's see if maybe it's better without the light behind. Yeah, better. Okay, sometimes too much technology. Okay, can you see that, guys? So simple.
Okay, and if you can't see it, does everybody know what scoring means? Have you done that with your meat? Have you ever done that with anything? Do you know what scoring means?
It means to go one way and go the other way.
Make a slanted grid.
Okay. Now here I have 1 zucchini and a half of a large onion, just cut into big, thick wedges. All of this together, you could have for dinner and be veggies most with a huge piece of chicken or a huge salmon. You could also have half of it. So being veggies most comes down to, you do me a favor, I put 1 tablespoon of olive oil on here, 1 cup, and 1 cup of olive oil drizzled over both of these together. Okay? Yeah. Okay. So what makes it so sexy and so yummy? Like Alana always says, seasonings. So I only took out my seasonings from iHerb, and I'm obsessed with the Spice Lab. Actually, Jane Ullman introduced me to the Spice Lab brand on iHerb, I don't know, a long time ago. but they have an amazing variety of spices. I used to only use the, I love the organic spice ones. And so this is like a really nice brand, really interesting ones. And they all have an OU on them. So this is the Vandoverian curry. Okay. 3 onion. If you are like a Trader Joe's fan and they have this like super garlicky onion, umami, like delicious seasoning, this tastes just like that. Literally, if I put this, it has salt in it, it has pepper in it, it has 3 different kinds of onion. If I literally put this here, Mimi has oiled my veggies, and I always do 1 tablespoon of oil or 1 cap per a, hold this sweet. And what I'll do is I will be very generous with my spices, okay? Right, it
While
looks
you're
so
spicing,
yummy.
I'm just gonna say one thing. If we're already
Please.
talking about like how easy things are, and again, even if you wanna then say, look at that, a bowl, I'm gonna have to wash it, or I don't wanna get my hands dirty, I will tell you the stuff that I season with olive oil or olive oil spray and seasoning that goes in the air fryer, it gets put in a Ziploc, and I shake it and I mush it and whatever. I don't even take out a bowl. So all these things don't.
Put it in my air fryer. You could do that too. And just shake it up in the air fryer.
Right.
Oh,
you can
so
do that
I
too.
don't. I
find
like
the
to use
seasoning
one
gets
bowl.
more.
Okay. So what I do
But it
now is
all
I
works.
set
One second,
it.
Lily, one thing, that's also something I want to say only because Pesha is basically like scared of the air fryer or anything new. And I think the most important thing is that you need to say to yourself, and this comes with anything that we're doing with our mindset, is more often than not, okay? The thing that we feel that is holding us back is very often we think what's holding us back is something that we don't know. Oh, I'm being held back. I don't know how to use an air fryer, or I don't have an air fryer, or I don't have time to wash dishes. The thing we constantly think what is holding us back is the thing that I don't know, okay? When in reality, it's what we know to be true that is holding us back. And it's almost like, it really can't be that easy, can it? Because if it was, then I would do it, or anything like that. So that's also so much of the point here of what we're showing is that it really is that easy, and there really is nothing to be afraid about, but you just gotta try. It's worth the effort to try that one time. You know, that first time you make something, then it gets easier and easier afterwards. Okay.
So all I did was put my setting, my favorite is 180 Celsius. And I did it for 20 minutes on the timer. At 10 minutes, I could give it a shake. So the next meal that I'm gonna prep, I just wanted to show 2 things. Because one of the other things I hear really often is the veggie cutting takes too long. Does anybody feel like the actual chopping of vegetables takes too long?
Tiffany does, she raised her hand.
Okay.
Some people are saying no. I think again, it might be sometimes depending on where you're finding yourself and seeing this. Lily just put her, Lily, you're on mute. Yeah.
So I want to show you guys something very, very helpful. 2 tips that I used to teach when I used to teach the freezer cook-off that people were always amazed, okay? Bell pepper. Cut the end first. Side, 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 side. No mess, no seeds. Sorry,
Guys.
can everybody else hear me okay? We
Yeah.
tested it beforehand.
Yeah,
So
we
it might
can hear
be
you. Guys, if you just noticed, I don't know if you can see because Lily's on her phone, but when you are cutting a pepper that easily, the head of the pepper, seeds that are connected to the head, that part's down. Otherwise, if it's the other way, some seeds might start coming off, and then you know you're always all then just shaking your pepper and getting off the last seed. These are all, you know, could be simple things that maybe you've done, maybe you haven't done, maybe you didn't know, but it can really be that simple.
Kohlrabi. People want to make kohlrabi fries, and they said they got stuck on how hard it is to prepare the kohlrabi. So this is what I do. I cut off the head. I cut off the butt. I pull off the sides. And then I use a good peeler. Now, having good tools really helps, okay? If you don't have a sharp knife and you don't have a sharp peeler, then this is gonna take a long time, okay? But when you're making vegetables, especially if you're gonna do, let's say, a pepper and a kohlrabi, and you want to get dinner really quickly. Like, I'm tired, guys. I have to be honest with you today. I'm tired. So I'm going to take that kohlrabi now, and I'm just going to chop it. And I'm not going to turn it into fancy schmancy fries, okay? Literally, just here. I love, actually, IKEA's 360 knife series. Affordable, super sharp, and easy to sharpen. So that right there into the same dirty bowl. This is a whole great serving of vegetables for me. I have one bell pepper, huge chunks of kohlrabi, and one large carrot. And if you cut it on the diagonal, it makes it look a little fancier and it'll make you happy. Just put it into the same dirty bowl, okay? And you take, very easily trackable, very important, 1 cap of olive oil, okay? Everything but the bagel spice, magic, literally makes everything taste good.
And don't get caught up on, oh, but I don't like everything but the bagel spice. Now I'm stuck. Now I can't have a fast dinner. Because if you like salt, garlic powder, and onion powder, then do that. The point is that you can make this easier for yourself. Okay?
If you don't want,
do you have to use oil? Pesha asked. Okay, so right. So Jen's answer replied back.
okay, you're gonna hear lots of different opinions. I'm not personally a big believer on using store-bought spray in the air fryer because of
So now your internet's not good. Now your internet's not good.
okay, because chemicals are not.
You're choppy.
Huh. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Amazing. Maybe because the air fryer was right behind it. So I'm not a big fryer. Exactly. What Jen is holding up is the best, is to buy a spray. Yes, I'll put up all the seasonings in the chat. You want to show the brand is The Spice Lab on iHerb. I have all of their seasoning mixes. So we just did everything but the bagel and 3 onion. Those are what we used so far. So Jen, you want to unmute and tell them about how amazing that is? And what I'm going to do, guys, in the meantime, is just add 1/2 block of tofu to this. And this is going to be a full plated dinner when it goes in the air fryer. So Jen, tell us about your oil spray, which is perfect for the air fryer if you don't want to use just 1 cap, which is an easy trackable amount and good for you and gets all the spices to stick to it.
Okay. This is just an olive oil sprayer. I think I bought it at like a baking store here or Mac Stock or Stock Store or whatever kind of thing. And you can just fill it with whatever oil you want. So this is olive oil. We use it for literally everything. It's also better than Pam, let's say, because if you ever have noticed, like if you have nonstick pans and you spray Pam on it, it gives that sticky residue and it ruins your pans actually. So this is just significantly better and healthier. It doesn't have paraffin. It doesn't have anything in it. And it won't ruin your pans and especially won't ruin your air fryer. And in the air fryer, you're not supposed to use Pam. You're only supposed to use oil. So this is essentially using oil.
Thank you.
Excellent. Okay.
Okay.
I will say I've had some of those and they like get clogged or broken or this. So if anybody has a link to a good one, share it.
I could share something from Amazon. I've had the ones, I forgot what you even call them, the ones that you have to like pump by
the pump, those are terrible.
Those are terrible.
If you're in Israel, if you're in Israel, I actually love the Fox one. They sell it at Fox. It's a great one. I've bought it and I still use it. Like
it's not a pump one?
No, it's a spray.
Awesome.
Yeah, the only thing that doesn't spray like Pam, it just sprays. It's not got that like
This has a continuous spray kind of thing. It is.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool. Well,
Okay, guys.
Everybody post the link.
So now here's the curry spice that I showed you before. All I did was put it on the eggplant. So now, and what I would do is I put the eggplant.
Lily, can you have Mimi hold the phone? I think we have connection problems when the phone is down.
Yeah. So, and then for Mimi and I'm gonna put 2 vegan burgers from T-Bowl in the air fryer with the 2 eggplant at the same time. So now we have basically meal prepped 3 meals so far with the air fryer. That's how simple this is. So I'm gonna stop cooking here for a minute, and Mimi's gonna chop her favorite potatoes. And just one thing about a potato, a lot of people love French fries, and they're always like picking at their kids' French fries for whatever. You know, a potato is an FFC. And I just wanted to show you something. This is what Mimi would consider the size of a serving of a potato. Yes? Yeah. This is what a to be mindset serving of a potato is. Okay?
Joseph?
And I see would eat both of them. So this is like a actual FFC serving of a potato. This is 2 servings of a potato. So if you're gonna use a potato in the air fryer as your FFC, use a small one. It's amazing. It's trackable. It'll be delicious for lunch. But don't like get super happy and do like an entire sweet potato in there. You will eat the whole thing. It will be that delicious. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to mute myself for a sec, and I want us to start to put in the chat how you've overcome some challenges in the kitchen. If you're willing to share that you've gone through the struggle and you've been on the other side now, we want to hear from you right now. We want to celebrate you. We want to honor the fact that you had this obstacle and you came to the other side and you're like, oh, I know this, or I can do this. Daria, you mentioned something. Are you able to come on for a sec, or I yell it if we see anybody else? I'd love to.
Daria posted a link, guys. Go into Daria posted a link from Amazon in terms of a spray bottle that she uses. But I want to also just comment on, especially if nobody caught that, to go back to Pesha's question even originally, Lily showed 2 of those vegan, like in Israel, they're T-Bowl brand veggie patties, okay? Now, again, depending on your size plate, and figure out what works for you. She said she's putting in 2, one is for her, one is for Mimi. I can tell you that I then spend time figuring out that I have 2 of those as my protein, but then yes, proportionally have 3 times as many vegetables, as all of that, okay? So that's what's an important thing to understand, is figuring all that stuff out for yourself, what then also works for you like that. The most important thing that I want to also just solidify when it comes to protein is always remember, if you go back to the protein video on To Be Mindset, a protein portion has to be minimum 10 grams of protein in order to keep you full, okay? So if you're taking something and it's less than that, just know that may not be then sustainable. Like some people take 5% cheeses in Israel, and it's a good protein in terms of there's more protein per 100 grams than there is fat, but in 100 grams of cheese, there's only 5 grams of protein then. So you got to understand that. If you're going to have 200 grams of that, so again, all these things, everything ends up working together. So you got to work on that and what's working for you. So let's hear from you guys.
Yeah, I want to just show one last thing. I bought this when Alana shared her movie theater popcorn recipe. Okay, this is the what's this called in English? Nutritional yeast.
No, nutritional yeast. I'm like, what are you holding?
Nutritional yeast. It tastes like Parmesan cheese. What it really is just super delicious on roasted vegetables in the air fryer. So again, very generous.
I'm going to cut you off a little bit. I'm going to be a little bit honest. As a vegan who has nutritional yeast a lot, I wouldn't say it tastes like Parmesan. It gives like a nutty, maybe cheesy flavor. Also, it smells bad. Okay.
Oh, I like the smell.
Right. My family hates it. Like they'll really get upset when I use it. I love it. I mean, I don't love the smell. I love the taste, and I love what it adds to food. So again, experiment, see what you like. It also is it has great amounts of protein in it. It's not going to be your only protein because you're not having a cup's worth.
It smells like a snack.
Yes, because it smells like feet, Jen. Yep, it does.
Mimi says it smells like a snack.
No, it is a snack in America that looks like Bamba. I don't know, it's not Bamba. It's one place in America.
Cheetos?
Always in movies.
Yeah, Cheetos. She says it smells like cheese curls.
No, like the one you have with weird animal on it.
Cheese curls, cheese curls, cheese curls.
These girls. Anyway, so salt, pepper, nutritional yeast. It's actually delicious. It's going to go in the air fryer. So let's call on some people to share your stories. It is just the seasoning. It's not an FFC. It's like really an accessory. Okay, it has protein, but it's an accessory.
Right, like I said, you're not using it as a protein because you're not having a cup of it. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a sprinkle. It's a generous sprinkle. It's just seasoning.
Right.
It's free.
Like chia or hemp seeds. Kind of same category there.
Okay, so Ayel, you want to call in some people?
Well, I do want to go back to, because Yoni, which I guess was the story of her evening now tonight, mentioned earlier when we were talking about a struggle that can come up, was what do you do when you're short on time due to getting stuck in traffic? Or on that note, you're running in the door later than you expected, and there were things that happened, and you want dinner, and you want dinner fast, or you didn't have maybe something prepared. Very often, I like that you only brought that up because sometimes that is a struggle, that you were out of the house and then came home and something was, unexpected.
Yeah, I'm using it more as an example of, meaning for me, by this point in my journey, I have many other options ready to go. That's
Right,
not an issue.
I know.
But for many people, there's a time frame, and all of a sudden getting stuck in a car for 45 minutes extra this evening was very frustrating. And so, yeah, you walk in the door and everyone wants to eat and you're going, okay, what can I get cooked fast enough so that, they don't chew their own arms off or my head off. So that's, one of those that you got to know what those kind of things are that can be done really quickly.
Okay, Lily's on mute, so I'm gonna take some of that and then Lily can answer when she finishes doing what she's doing. For me, I would say a few things in terms of things like that. So Aviva had said frozen veggies are your best friend, but even going behind, like pre that, like Yoni had said, she already knows what she's gonna do in that situation. Meal prep starts with your supermarket order. Prep, not in the I have to have everything cooked in advance, but it's I have to be prepared, can mean make sure that you have options that can be put together easily. I will also give what I believe is one of the best pieces of advice that Alana ever said once was, oh, Lily's stuff is ready. That's how quickly and how beautifully the air fryer can work, okay?
Zucchini and onion, guys, full 9-inch plates, okay? So you could have all of the things. My daughter said to me, what are we gonna do? We're gonna get to eat all this food. I said, you can eat it all. She's like, but it's like 3 meals of food here. Like literally in under 30 minutes, that's what's happening. So next we have the tofu going in. And let's talk about like more success stories from the challengers, like who can share how many people does this serve? Oh, this would be just for me. This would be just for me. And I'd probably have cut vegetables and big protein. I'm a dinner this size girl, okay? Not a this size girl. So 9-inch, 12-inch. I'm a 12-inch dinner girl, okay? That's how many vegetables I want on my plate at dinner to be full and satisfied and dinner and done. So who wants to share something that either using the air fryer or using a different tool you've overcome in terms of just getting over all that resistance we feel to making it easier on ourselves to be successful?
Anyone have a win? Something that they figured out that they maybe didn't do in the past?
Maybe Aviva could talk about all the different ways she's found to use frozen vegetables. I see there's so many people in their kitchen right now prepping things. Like, what are you making that's simple, that's easy? Look at Tiffany. Look at that. It's delicious. Look at all those veggies.
Okay,
Tiffany,
Ellen,
if
yes.
you're
Ellen,
open to getting off mute, tell us something.
wait, Ellen raised your hand. Yeah.
I was going to just share what I do with my air fryer. I had never had an air fryer. My kids bought me one for Hanukkah. And if I'm making dinner for family and my kids are coming over, you can't do what you just did and put the chicken and the veggies in at the same time. So what I do is I throw my veggies in, like I'll get a whole batch of Brussels or whatever vegetables, cook them in the air fryer. They don't take long. Put them away, they're done. Then I cook the chicken or salmon that I'm making. And then when everybody sits down for the table, I can throw the veggies that were already cooked back in the air fryer and they heat up in 1 minute. So I've done it all in the air fryer, 2 separate cookings, but obviously the chicken or salmon takes longer. So I do the veggies first and then just quickly do a reheat in the air fryer when I'm ready to put it on the table.
That's an excellent tip. So yes, air fryers can be used to reheat. Either some of them now have a reheat button, or just put it in for, on a lower temperature and, fewer minutes, and you can do that. Somebody asked what I was going to say. Debbie asked what I was going to say about what Alana says. I think this is important when we find like we're surprised or coming in late. Alana has always said, don't use the words, I'm starving. If you have eaten in the last 25 hours, you are not starving. So in a situation where you got stuck in traffic and you're walking in the door, if you are constantly saying to yourself, I'm starving, I'm starving, I'm starving, you are going to be walking inside the door. And basically what you're telling your mind and body is, I need to eat the first thing I see, otherwise I will die. That is, thank God, not the situation. Okay, so go for, I'm really hungry. This was very unexpected. Put in all those other words, but don't put yourself in a place of such impulsivity of saying I'm starving. That's all. That's what Alana recommended very early on. And that's taken me through the last bunch of years. And I think it's huge. And I've taught that to all my children, that you're not starving. Like, thank God you are not starving. So that was a great tip that Ellen said. And I think also one thing that, with everything that Lily is showing now, some of you might be like, well, I don't have an air fryer, or I'm not going to buy one, or I don't always use it, or let's say I'm feeding many, many more people. This stuff can also be done in the oven, not just the air fryer. You can also set a timer for your oven if you're going to be coming home later. Finding these things as opposed to being afraid and worried about the limitations, and concentrating on solutions, then you start finding the options and the solutions that are out there.
So guys, I just want to show you guys also something. While I am cooking, I am always eating like raw veggies. So like I have extra pepper here. Like the air fryer takes 15 minutes. We got 10 minutes left till my dinner's ready with the tofu. She's already eating the zucchini. I'm eating a regular pepper. Like, don't be afraid to be veggies even more than most while you're cooking your veggies most dinner. Like, it doesn't have to mean that you have to wait to start having some veggies even while you're cooking, especially when you're hungry. Like Ayala said, you're only going to make amazing decisions. Like, she loves all these spices. She can't keep her hands out of the food. Like, this is stuff that if it's around, your kids will start to eat because you're like, hey, leave me some. It's that good. Ria, you're also cooking. Daria, I know you had mentioned.
Daria had to go, I think she said.
Oh, okay. Ria, do you mind sharing us some things that you're cooking in the kitchen right now, or some things you've overcome in terms of your cooking?
I'm not cooking, I'm cleaning right now, but I wish I was. But I think lately, like the kohlrabi for me is too much. And I know your trick, I've done it from the cook-offs, Lily, like, and it's still often too much for my wrist and whatever. But if I'm in the mode of it, I'll do the, like the harder vegetables. Pepper's easy, bok choy is easy, kale, like those are the easy ones for me. I go for easy vegetables, like that's it. Or the stuff in the freezer. Washing things from bugs, I can't stand. So I'd rather get pre-washed stuff and I just spend the money on that. That's it. And I see if I'm making breakfast or doing something for somebody else and there's not other things to do in the kitchen, I'll just take something else out and, cut it up. Scallions, get a bunch of scallions cut up and get it in the refrigerator in a container. That's
I think those are incredible tips. And again, because
charred also, Mongol.
Right. Stop being afraid. If you know something's not working for you right now, like Ria said, in terms of kohlrabi, it doesn't mean now you're out of options. Find the stuff that works for you that is easy. Find the pre-washed stuff or pre-cut stuff or all those kinds of things, and concentrate on the solutions. Jen Toplin said on Sundays she cuts up lots of veggies for her salads that she's going to be making the rest of the week. So that way, therefore, putting them together the rest of the week, then works better. She's just not coming on. She's, I think, on her way to the airport.
I'll jump in one more thing. Like the other thing is, like, if I have more time, like the last few weeks I haven't because the kids have been home because of everything, but if I do, then I will maybe put on a Netflix or whatever, just have it on and just chop vegetables, and I get into it for a half an hour and then I have a ton of things in the fridge. It's not that long. It's not a big deal.
Right. We've all
Also,
seen Yoni put on baking sheets worth of grilled vegetables, so she quickly cuts up in the beginning of the day, sticks them in the oven, and then they're always ready.
So something else, like I prepared this broccoli. If I don't want to cook it today in the air fryer, it can just stay in the fridge until I do want to. And you don't have to always cut everything into florets. You can do a half a cauliflower just like this. You soak it in salt water for bugs for 10 minutes while you're chopping the rest of your vegetables. You take it out. You check it, it's clean. And again, you don't want to, you can buy the pre-washed florets. It's no problem. But like, you just like this with a little garlic on the outside, garlic salt in the air fryer, and it's done. And of course, all of these things you can also do on a sheet pan in the oven. But again, if you're maybe have kind of a family dinner set up and you're struggling to be veggies most and veggies interesting and veggies delicious, these are all really good ways. And I'd love to hear more hacks from you guys that you're using to be successful. Alana, Singer, Yoni, Debbie, Casuto, Ellen, and Pesha, anything you found? Like Pesha, I know you never used to cook before. Like what's the easiest things you found that you can do to be successful?
I'll give an example that Friday, I mean, this is the first time I did it, but Friday I just took, I love mushrooms. I took tons of mushrooms, fresh mushrooms and canned mushrooms and onions, and I grilled them on a frying pan or whatever. And I had a really big container of it. So I only used some on Shabbos because I was sick, but never mind. And so today it was amazing because when I made a salad, I just like took a handful, put it on top of the salad, and I like had such a fancy salad. Like I couldn't even believe it. I was so excited. Like just adding that like grilled mushrooms and onions and whatever. And it wasn't such a big deal. But again, like I'm really busy. I work full time. Like, so just having that already ready was huge just to take the salad to the next level. And I made a new salad dressing today, and that was also really good. So yay, it was a good day.
Pesha, you always say that you're short on time. Why don't you take that into next week and have that be like a regular thing? It's something we do in our house every week. We have a container of onions and mushrooms every week, no matter what. It makes making omelets more interesting. You'll do it much quicker this time because you already have onions and mushrooms sauteed and ready to go. You throw them in a pan with eggs, you're done. There's so many ways to then use that throughout the week that if you have that container as one of your like staples that you now do, you will get more creative. You won't realize it because you're like, oh, I already have it done. But it allows you to make certain other things.
Good idea. Thanks, Yoni.
100%, that's great.
Also, as you saw, my daughter was helping here. Like now she's gonna put the spices away. Like but there's almost no mess. I have 2 bowls to wash and like 1 bleach wipe on a counter. And I meal prep basically enough food for like 2 days for me. But maybe, for somebody who's not a volume eater, multiple meals. You were gonna say something?
I just have a random question for everyone who makes, obviously all of us, lots of salads. How do you get your lettuce super dry? Because I have a salad spinner and I feel like I'm spinning that thing all day long and still my lettuce is not dry and it's bothering me with my salads. Like I don't like it wet, if you know what I'm talking about, if you can help.
Rather than a spinner, I have a drainer. This is from Fox Home. And it drains to the bottom. And so the lettuce is super crisp, but not at all wet. This is already from Tuesday, so it's starting to get a little brown, but actually I will say it's a tiny bit wet. I actually like it like that. It makes it taste crisp and fresh to me. I take it back. I don't have a solution for you. Who else has a solution for her?
What I do.
Okay, guys, we only have 4 minutes left because it'll be 8:45. So I want to take a last question and then we're going to wrap up tonight. And thank you guys so much for coming. Or if anybody has one last story, challenge, or a last win that we can celebrate, that even just that you took the time to be on this call. Everybody has so many amazing lettuce tips here. Daria, I know you're back. Jen Toplin, Vita. Anybody want to close us out sharing a win? Debbie, like a win you've had that we can just celebrate you, and what a great way to end the call.
Okay, I wanted to say something.
Please.
That I was always making eggplant, but not fried eggplant, just sort of like ratatouille with peppers and onions and mushrooms, but it had no protein, just a little bit of chop, and it didn't have any protein. Only tonight was the first time I really added tofu. I grilled the tofu first with onions, and then I put it inside the eggplant. And actually, last week I made it. I have to apologize. I made it last week, but I separated the tofu just for me. Then tonight, my husband said he wanted it also. So I made the whole package of tofu. So it went into the whole eggplant. So I really couldn't plate it separately, but based on my previous experience, I had the same amount. I counted out the pieces of tofu. So
I think what's amazing about what you just said, Vita, and thank you so much for sharing, and what every single person, and Ayala did such an amazing job tonight, and Jen and Yoni and all of you, and Pasha and Jen shared, and Aviva shared, and Tiffany shared, and everybody was, the more that we start to do something, the easier it gets. And guess what? 5.5 years in, it does feel more effortless. Well, my kids are 5 years older now. They weren't helping as much in the kitchen 5 years ago. Your life is going to change, but you'll have changed and grown along with it so that your life will actually get cumulatively easier to maintain that weight when you achieve it. So thank you so much for all your sharing tonight. If you got value, when we post the call, thank, tag, share a takeaway right now in the Team Thrive Facebook group. If you're in there, share a takeaway so that people know that this was valuable, so that you own and show the gratitude that you showed up for you tonight. You showed up to make this a little bit easier next time you want to meal prep. So those obstacles just don't seem as overwhelming, and you really create the habits that are going to pay off in the long run. Thank you guys so much, everyone, for being here. And you guys can feel free to leave, but I just want to say a big thank you to all the coaches who did an amazing job helping. And if you have any last things to share as we sign off and say goodbye, feel free.
Okay. And guys, never forget to use the Facebook group for anything that you felt like didn't get answered, or you have another question, you know, all that. That's what the group is for. You have access to everybody. Good night, guys.
And of course, there's the ding. So since we're on that last second, I'll just show you, and I'll post the picture in the group. Here we go. Tofu vegetable stir fry in the air fryer. Have an amazing night. I'm going to go eat.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.